To stop what you're doing is not always a bad thing. It can be a necessary or a good thing to do. Welcome to Struggle, Grow, Succeed. I am your host, Charles Baldwin. This is where we welcome the struggle and then we attack it. It is through struggle that we grow. And on the other side of growth is success. Let's talk about the word pivot. At some point in your life, you have had to make a change and go in a different direction. To make a change that requires you to stop going in the intended direction and turn, that is called a pivot. During the pandemic, many people have had to pivot because they did not have a choice. There are many who stopped, but they have had trouble going in a new direction. Sometimes that pivot is the best thing that could happen to you. You can be forced to pivot or you can pivot by choice. Either way, when you pivot, it must be done with power. The most dangerous thing you could do is stop and not make a decision. I want to use a basketball player as a demonstration. For those of you who know the game, you have heard the term pivot more times than you can count. When a basketball player is moving down the court, dribbling the ball, he is moving in a specific direction with a purpose in mind. Much like you when you have a job or a career. Maybe your life seems right on track and you are moving through life with no worries at all. However, there comes a time when change is inevitable. As the basketball player encounters a tough defensive opposition, he is forced to make a decision. He can drive past the opposition and continue down his path, or if the defense is strong, the threat will cause him to make a decision about what to do next. One choice would be to throw the ball to someone else. How would that apply to your life if you were met with a strong opposition? For you, that could mean that you would lean on someone else to assist you with your decision, or perhaps you would just give up the ball and let someone else take the responsibility that once belonged to you. A strong basketball player will plant his pivot foot and look to see what the best course of action would be. He is calm under the pressure of the adversary. This pivot foot gives the player the ability to turn in multiple directions before he makes his move. To stop what you are doing is not always a bad thing. It can be a necessary or a good thing to do. You might be traveling in a direction that could cause you to lose the ball or maybe even the game. When things hit you hard, like losing a job or maybe a relationship failed, it is imperative that you plant your pivot foot and start looking immediately. If you just stop and do nothing, you will be surrounded by other problems and adversaries that will overtake you and cause you to lose. Losing is not an option if you have the mindset to win. Plant your pivot foot, look for options, and then proceed with power in your new direction. This year has been a time of change for many people. Sometimes things happen for a reason, and sometimes they just happen. Don't spend your time in fear or worry. Look to your strengths and talents and capitalize on the knowledge that you have. Your resolve will be the purpose, and your new direction can bring about success in your life that might not have happened without the pressure of the situation that caused you to make massive changes in your life. Plant your foot and don't lose hope. Turn and find the direction to move forward with your life. Make the decision and have courage as you make the play that will win the game in your life. Thank you for joining us today on Struggle, Grow, Succeed. If you liked what you heard, share it with a friend or a family member. You can also hit the follow button or subscribe, whatever kind of button that you've got there, so that you don't miss another episode of our podcast. We'd love to have you as part of our Facebook group. It's #Struggle, Grow, Succeed, or you can also visit our website, strugglegrowsucceed.com.